I think data centers in the Nordics, it's quite an interesting topic, because obviously there's certain benefits with regards to the ambient temperature in northern climes. But also you've got to balance that with the availability of connectivity. So the further up the Nordics you go, you may benefit to an extent on cooler climes, but you don't get as much connectivity. So yeah, difficult one for data centers, that you need connectivity going into a data center. So, that's an important thing. I guess the other thing about it is that the difference between sort of Stockholm, if you look at Sweden, and the Arctic Circle, is massive temperature swings in the winter, but modest temperature swings in the summer. And I think that it's the summer that you really benefit from the cold weather. So again, the impact of being very much further north versus sort of the Stockholm area, where you get more connectivity, I believe is limited. I think a lot of people look at data centers as real consumers of tremendous amounts of energy. And of course, there's a lot of energy that goes into a data center, but it's not the data center itself that's consuming that. It's the customers of the data center operator that are consuming that. Be that your ISPs or your mobile operators or your Amazons or whatever it is, they are consuming the power. And actually, a data center is inherently efficient. The internet's here for good, right? We're not going to uninvent it. So the fact that we have servers and switches and routers consuming energy means that we need an efficient way of running them. And actually, data centers are incredibly efficient versus putting these servers under your desk. I think PUE, or power usage efficiency, for data centers is still a really, really important measure. And it's kind of one of the few that we have that is recognized across the industry as a reference point. But that's not the only thing. I mean, you've got things like how efficiently we use water within the cooling environment, and that is important. I mean, we used to have a data center in the old Telecity days that took water out of a canal and repurposed that water back into the canal as a heated water, which actually saved the local council money in the winter, because they would have had to have broken up the ice on that canal had the data center not been performing that function. So there are things there that you can sort of augment efficiency with, but PUE is still super important. And in the old days of having sort of 1.5 and above, it doesn't work anymore. I think it's incredibly important shows like DCW address the sort of the carbon issue full on, because it's going to be more and more important both for operators of data centers, and it certainly is important for customers. But I think unless we come together as an industry, then it's going to be very difficult for individual organizations and individual data center operators to try and tackle this. It's going to make uneven playing fields if some people are putting investment and time into trying to tackle the carbon issue and others aren't. So it makes sense to address it as an industry, and it's right to address it as an industry, and DCW is a perfect forum to do that.